Ferrari is currently facing one of the quietest yet most dangerous crises in its recent history. After aggressively investing in building a winning team, with the arrival of Lewis Hamilton and an ambitious technical project for 2026, the reality in Maranello seems to be crumbling under the weight of unmet expectations. And at the center of this storm stands one man, Fred Vasseur. The French team principal who took over the helm of the Scuderia with the mission of returning it to the top is now under direct scrutiny from the leadership. These are no longer whispered doubts in the corridors of Maranello. According to the Italian press, Vasseur has been given an ultimatum: 3 races to save his job: Canada, Austria, Great Britain. 3 Grand Prix to change the narrative, or it will be the end. The critical issue? It's not just the disappointing results. It's the perception, shared by both drivers and management, that Vasseur has lost control of the project. Lewis Hamilton has already made his frustration clear, and Charles Leclerc, the symbol of Ferrari's new generation, is starting to look around for 2026, despite being under contract with the team until 2029. But how did it come to this? The 2025 season was supposed to be a smart transitional year, an opportunity to gather data, solidify the team, and prepare for the leap into the new 2026 technical regulations. But the problems exploded right away. The SF25 has proven to be a temperamental car, difficult to set up with inconsistent performance and unpredictable behavior from one weekend to the next. Hamilton, who hoped to find a stimulating and competitive environment, has instead found himself trapped in a team that can't seem to understand its own machinery. In Spain, the 7-time world champion was overtaken in race pace by a Sauber, a scene that perfectly captures the seriousness of the situation. But there's more. According to sources close to the team, Vasseur ignored a direct order from upper management to accelerate technical development after Imola. In particular, he allegedly delayed the introduction of key updates, betting on a supposed advantage from the new FIA front-wing directives. A miscalculation, no visible improvement, and, more worryingly, no satisfactory explanation for the performance drop. In Maranello, this was seen as a breaking point. The leadership no longer sees Vasseur as the man capable of leading the 2026 revolution. And so, the question everyone is now asking becomes inevitable. Who could take his place? The most frequently mentioned name is Christian Horner. Ferrari president John Elkann is said to be obsessed with the idea of bringing Red Bull's mastermind to Maranello. But the Brit has already made it clear he's not interested. His position at Milton Keynes is strong, and leaving the team he built from the ground up seems unlikely, at least for now. There is, however, another name on the table: Antonello Coletta. Currently head of Ferrari's endurance program, Coletta brought the prancing horse back to victory at Le Mans after half a century. He's a man from within, familiar with the company culture, and most importantly, enjoys the trust of ownership. In the past, he declined the role of team principal, but the circumstances have changed. Now he may feel ready. But is Fred Vasseur really the only problem? From an outside perspective, it seems evident that the issues are structural. Ferrari has big names, great drivers, but it fails to turn talent into results. The arrival of Loic Serra from Mercedes has yet to yield any tangible benefits. And the missed opportunity with Adrian Newey, snatched away at the last moment by Aston Martin, was a massive blow to Ferrari's ambitions. Leclerc, for his part, is no longer hiding his unease. He has spoken repeatedly about the lack of direction and the need for a clear philosophy. And if even the Monegasque begins to seriously consider leaving, then yes, the Ferrari project could collapse. The truth is, Vasseur was given a blank check to lead the 2026 project, but that trust is now in jeopardy. Because with every Grand Prix that passes without signs of progress, another nail is driven into the coffin. And in Maranello, patience is a rare currency. The situation becomes even more complicated when you consider the external pressure Ferrari is facing from fans and the media. The most iconic team in Formula One simply cannot afford to go an entire season without a single victory, especially after the high-profile announcement of Lewis Hamilton's arrival. There wasn't just the expectation to fight for the title, but a widespread belief that Ferrari had finally found a strong leader to build a winning future. Instead, what has emerged so far is a mix of poor technical decisions, shaky internal communication, and a clear inability to respond quickly to problems. Trust in Fred Vasseur is crumbling not only at the top of the organization, but also within the team's core structure. And that's perhaps the most worrying sign. When a team begins to lose its unity, decline is often fast and difficult to reverse. Even Charles Leclerc, the man who was supposed to represent Ferrari's future, now seems more distant than ever from the project. Rumors suggest he has been in contact with Mercedes, who see him as Hamilton's heir, as well as exploratory talks with rising teams like Aston Martin. If Leclerc were to actually leave, it would strike a major blow to Ferrari's sporting identity. What's making matters worse is Lewis Hamilton's growing frustration. Not only has he failed to deliver results worthy of his name, but he has also hinted at a sense of technical confusion. He's repeatedly stressed the need to focus on 2026 already, implicitly accusing the engineers of not listening to his feedback. Harsh words, made even heavier by the fact they're coming from one of the most successful drivers in the sport's history. At this point, Ferrari seems to be walking a razor's edge. On one side is the need to salvage the present to avoid a complete collapse of morale and reputation. On the other is the urgency of not jeopardizing the future, which hinges entirely on the foundations being laid right now. According to internal sources, the 2026 project is already in Fred Vasseur's hands. He's the one who launched the initial development phase, who manages confidential meetings with engineers, and who is drawing the blueprint for the future car. Letting him go now would mean losing months, if not years, of planning. But keeping him in charge without tangible results might be even more costly. That's why Ferrari is also considering a possible Plan B. Not an immediate dismissal, but rather a gardening leave, a discreet suspension to protect sensitive information, and a gradual transition to a new team principal. Antonello Coletta, thanks to his success in the WEC, remains the most serious candidate, but he's not the only one. Some suggest internal options as well, with younger, more adaptable figures ready to take the reins with a modern vision. A risky choice, no doubt, but perhaps necessary to break the inertia of a system that seems too tied to its past. Still, the core issue remains unchanged. Ferrari cannot afford another year of broken promises. Time is up. The next 3 races will be the ultimate test. If Vasseur fails to deliver real results, his tenure at Maranello may come to an end before it ever truly begins. And when that moment arrives, the question that seemed unthinkable just months ago will need to be answered. Did Ferrari get it completely wrong by choosing Fred Vasseur? For now, all we can do is watch, analyze, and hope that something changes. Because the fans deserve better. And the drivers deserve a car that matches their talent. Thanks for watching this video to the end. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment below. Do you think Ferrari should already replace Vasseur? Or give him a chance until 2026? We genuinely want to hear what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive insights into the world of Formula One. And now, click on the video currently showing on your screen to uncover the full story behind Red Bull's internal crisis and the uncertain future of Max Verstappen. We'll see you there.